I'm Keegan Shivers.
And I'm Old Man Shivers.
And this is the Shivers Report, where you get the most up-to-date real estate information
In the world!
and more specifically in the Pacific Northwest. Is this the worst real estate market since the Great Financial Crisis?
It depends on where you're at and who you're talking to.
Yeah, I mean, I see that there's this one guy. His name's Brandon Blankenship. He's always posting on his stories in Chicago. He's like, buyers, this is the worst time to ever try and purchase a home because you're not going to be able to purchase because every single home is getting these crazy multiple offer scenarios. Like it's like a whole nother universe over there. It's 2021 and 2026 over in the suburbs of Chicago. You come over here, it's a much different story.
Yeah. It's region, the Sun Belt, Pacific Northwest, and Mountain, except Idaho, they're getting beat up. Midwest, affordability they're doing pretty well, and then the Northeast, where supply has stayed very, very low, and a lot of people that moved the Sun Belt's like, I can't take it anymore. They're moving back, but the supply is low. So let's talk about where we're at, which is the Pacific Northwest. Is this a tough market for agents? We'll start with on the agent perspective. You're a newer agent.
Yeah.
Is it tough?
Well, I don't really know anything other than this. So I would say this has kind of been the norm. But for everybody that I've talked to that's been in the business since at least like 2019, that has gone through COVID and the heaven of real estate.
Yeah.
Even some guys that started in 2016, 2015 that I've been talking to said this is the most difficult time, not necessarily just because of the transaction volume being so down. It's more so the conversations that you're having to have on a daily basis.
Right.
Your clients, even more so right now when it's quiet, they want to know what's going on. You have to show what kind of value you're actually bringing, because if they just see it on the MLS and on Zillow and they think that's all you're doing, well, why are we getting paid at that point?
Yeah. So really, if we look at the data, okay, because feelings matter. And the consumer confidence is the lowest. There was a stat that's the lowest it's been in 70 years.
Wow.
Now, if you have a ton of money in the stock market, you're not feeling that.
You're living good.
That's why luxury properties are still doing okay.
Yeah.
They're still going down, but they're moving. But the overall economy, there is a feeling of like, oh, this is a challenge. So if we look at sales compared to last year, up until May was a little bit better.
Yep.
Values came down. Okay. And now we're going into this second part of what's the peak selling season. It is slow. Buyers are taking their time. And majority of agents, 60% of all agents, didn't go through back in the day. I remember back in the short sale days, the Great Financial, I took a property. It took me 3 years to sell the property because it was a short sale.
Yeah.
Now it's taking a lot longer, but most agents never experienced that. That's why agents that didn't go through the heaven of real estate and got in. This is great because if you can talk to your clients, if you can show your value, differentiate yourself, you can win. But if you think that, hey, you're putting the property on the market and you're going to get multiple offers right out of the gate, that game is gone. Does it happen? Yes. But it doesn't happen as often for sure.
So when you compare it from now to 2021 we had 6.12 million existing home sales. Right now we're sitting around 4 million. That's a 33% drop in total transactions for all agents.
Yep.
So agents having to claw, scratch a lot more for the business that's out there because of that decrease.
Right.
In the peak of 2022, NAR memberships peaked at $1.6 million, or 1.6 million agents. I feel like when I was in college, I was seeing all online real estate. Everybody was becoming an agent. Your mom, your sister, your cousin, your nephew, everybody. That's dropped down to 1.2 million.
Yeah. Because
it's hard for agents, especially newer agents that haven't been in the business, who aren't necessarily on a team that have that backing. It's difficult.
Yeah. I have a buddy, his name's J.R. McGee. He's out of Redding, California. Great guy. And he's like, college for kids right now, let's just say there's a kid that doesn't want to go to college, but he's not good with his hands. He goes, what we need to do, he wants to start a nationwide apprenticeship program for kids in the sales industry. And I think that's a great idea because not every kid needs to go to college. Okay, because you got to look at the math, right?
Yeah.
You're going to spend $300,000 on a degree, and you come out and you might work at Starbucks. Okay, but on the other hand, you don't want to be an electrician. You want to be in the sales business, and there really isn't like that apprenticeship thing. Now, in the real estate game, apprenticeship is going on a team. That's the apprenticeship. Okay. No agent, I believe, should go out and do it on their own in this market.
But commission splits.
Yeah,
I'm not getting my whole commission.
Exactly. I always like to say,
last year.
I like to say, do you want 100% of nothing or 10% of a great big pie? Because the fact is, good teams are dominating this industry. Why? Because they have proven repeatable systems and their agents are trained in the skill of negotiations and marketing and negotiations as being able to have a conversation.
And just education. I mean, we just had Vanessa who joined our team last month, and she's like, we didn't talk about any of this.
Right.
And I think that's important that I don't think a lot of people realize how much really goes into being a real estate agent that is doing good for their clients.
100%.
Being able to actually advise them in the right directions and be able to have those hard conversations. Because if you only have one deal and it's sitting there and you have no idea what to do, you have nobody to talk to, that's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah.
Because you got no advice, no expertise really.
Like, you remember the social media thing that it wasn't true, but Trump, everybody is posting it. Trump saying that if you don't own a house, you can't be a realtor. And I posted something about that, and people, that's ridiculous. But there is something about that. If, I get financial advisors coming to me all the time, and they're like, hey, I was curious, are you interested in interviewing? I'm like, sure. Let me see your tax returns, and let me see what you're invested in. And they're like, what? I go, well, I want to make sure the person that's advising me knows more than I do.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, why would I? Now, do I think you have to own a home to be an agent? Not necessarily. I think you should have at least owned a home or done flips or been an investor. But I mean, you got to know what the heck you're doing. Yeah. And just taking your real estate test should not give you the authority to help someone with one of their biggest assets that they'll ever transact.
Yeah.
Most people's net worth is in their houses. And someone that just got their license, I think there needs to be more of like that apprenticeship approach, because just joining a brokerage doesn't mean you know anything about business, about negotiation, pricing, economics, tax strategies, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and why there's some people that are taking over market share right now, and a lot of people are struggling. For somebody who might be looking at it where it's like, okay, I want to get into real estate more. They have their job that they're working. Maybe they're doing real estate part-time. Do you think real estate is something you can do part-time? I mean, it was talked about a lot before where I was, you could do real estate as a part-time gig. Do you think we're at that point right now?
If you want to do real estate as a part-time gig for maybe yourself, you want to learn, because you can do both. Let's say, I talked to a kid that he had a really good corporate job and he was wanting to jump full time. And I'm like, man, it's a tough game right now. I mean, but on the other hand, you got a agent like Vanessa that did one listing in 3 years on another organization. And one after our training program, she's taken 6 listings on our team, because she knows it doesn't take. It's not rocket science. It's a system, and it's daily habits of making sure you're educated on the national market and the local market. And then you got to go out and do the work. Yeah. And this isn't a part-time gig. No. If you want to help your clients to the best of your ability.
I mean, there's just no way at that point you can really compete or claim to compete with people who are in the business 24/7, have a marketing budget that is quite large for especially bigger teams.
Right.
I mean, that's a hard sell
Exactly.
to be going into somebody's house and tell them what you're going to be able to do to net them more money than somebody else that backing.
That's why we have more people cancel listings than before, because you got agents out there that someone will say, I want to get $700,000 for my house. And they go, okay. Kind of like that a property that you bought that was on the market at 500 and you bought it for how much?
267.
Yeah, because the agent overpriced it for 2 years and the guy got himself in trouble.
Yep.
That shouldn't happen in our industry, and those type of things should not happen.
No.